Hi, it's Rich Tehrani here at Supercom 2009, coming to you live from the TMC newsroom in Chicago, Illinois. Today on our program, we've got Steve Northridge, who is the Director of Marketing of Ulticom. Steve, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Thanks for being on our show.
Thanks for having me.
So what should our viewers know about your company?
Well, Ulticom is a worldwide company. We deal in telecom signaling. We service the telecom equipment manufacturers marketplace. We have headquarters in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. We have facilities for development and also support in France, and also we do support out of Singapore as well. So it covers the globe.
What are some of the latest announcements from your company?
Well, some things we've been doing is really trying to recognize the intersection between telecom and the IT industry. And in the intersection, we're finding that there's a recognition that there's a value in the legacy infrastructure provides signaling, typically SS7 type signaling that people don't want to replace and override with, for instance, replacing with SMS or IMS or SIP or things like that. So they want to take advantage and leverage that as much as possible, but at the same time, they recognize the need to deliver services leveraging some of the IT infrastructures, things like service delivery platforms, server farm type technology and things like that. So we're recognizing that, and we're trying to provide products that will provide that convergence to allow for the intersection of IP technology together with the traditional legacy signaling technology that's been in the telecom environment for a long period of time.
So SS7 and intelligent network gateway type, gateway type technology.
Yes, essentially the gateways, but also then providing recognition that there's an intelligence that can be placed at gateway, because you're in a unique position in the network. You're actually seeing all the messages going back and forth. So you can take advantage and do some unique things at that point.
Great. Now, in terms of the customers that you're working with and the economic environment, have you seen any sorts of changes this year? And do you have any sorts of predictions on what might happen next year in terms of carrier spending?
Well, we're hearing from some of our customers that even though there's obviously a global macroeconomic situation where there's a downturn in the economy, we are seeing from some of the equipment providers that we work with indications that the capital spending is a little bit better than they had expected. So we have quite a bit of optimism going forward. However, they are taking a very pragmatic view towards their networks. They're not saying, I'm going to go out and do a rip and replace of everything they have in their network. They really can't afford to do that. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
On the other hand, they have a recognition that there's continuing growth in subscribers.
Right.
More and more subscribers are driving traffic on the network, and they have to deal with that. So the way they have to do it is incrementally grow their network to support that traffic. And at the same time, there's a growth in demand for different kinds of services, enabling not only services inside the network, but enabling those over-the-top kind of services as well. So we feel we're in a unique position, being a leader in the signaling area, to be able to enable that and to be able to help our customers grow into enabling the IP-based services through service delivery platforms, enabling those for unique load distribution mechanisms and gateways to bridge them into the network.
Now, globally, are you seeing any areas that are doing better than others?
Well, we're seeing a lot of activity in Asia. We do, as I indicated, we're a global company. We deal a lot with the network equipment providers in Europe, but also we're seeing a lot of activity in Asia and China and Japan right now, where we're working with our customers to enable them for the growth that they're seeing in the marketplace. While there may not be a tremendous growth in terms of the economies, there's tremendous growth in the use of mobile phones, the amount of messaging that gets there with mobile phones, the transition from using just phones for voice, but also used for data access, that as increasing the signaling requirements, and also short message services. One unique thing that's happening in Japan is there's a requirement that now they're going to have interworking of SMS messages between carrier networks, which is something that did not take place previously. This is going to cause, in my mind, an upsurge in the use of SMS traffic in Japan, which has typically not been a big user of SMS. Because of the recognition that when you send a message to your friend and they weren't in your same network, you had no idea that the message wasn't getting to them. So once people get the feeling we're like in the United States or in Europe, when you send a message, it can be delivered, we feel there's going to be a tremendous uptake in SMS traffic. And this is something that's being legislated in Japan to be able to require these networks to interwork SMS traffic.
That's great.
So it's an interesting development. It's unique in that environment, but it is an indication of things that do happen that do cause an increase in the use of signaling traffic.
So I'm getting a signal. We've got 30 seconds left. Please tell me what's next for your company.
Well, what's next for our company is really leveraging a lot of the excitement that we're seeing in the load balancing and the IP technology and distribution of traffic, looking at content, distributing that traffic, not only traditional legacy signaling protocols like SS7, but also taking that forward and looking and applying that to things like diameter and SIP and so forth. Applying the intelligence that we've learned through deploying years of SS7 traffic and our detailed knowledge of signaling traffic and applying that to some of the newer technologies that we're seeing applied in the market.
That's great. Thank you so much for being on the program today.
Well, thanks a lot for having me.